everybody. Good day to you. My name is Stephen Beach. I'm producer of the Byte Extra Crunchy podcast with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Guess what it is? It is episode 105. Doing it right here with Beach and Tong. Byte Extra Crunchy. Doing it extra munchy. This is the show all about Apple. It's our complimentary piece to our weekly video podcast show. It's like just about 5-6 minutes, 5-6-7, depending. But this show is all about you guys and gals. It's the latest news. News stories drop between the time we post that show and this one. Also, we want you all to be a part of the show. We got tons of great calls. One that makes me me and Beach very happy today. The number is 1-800-616-2638. All you have to do, call us with your name, where you're from, get to it, your point, your comment, your question, and we're going to put you on the show. So that's how we do it here. Again, it's episode 105, and really, let's lead off with the big story this week. Really just dropped today. Beach, did you hear about Movies Anywhere today?
I signed up. I have an account. I synced a bunch of my movies. I got 5 free movies.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls that have not heard about this, a new video service called Movies Anywhere just dropped. This is not to be confused with Disney's Movies Anywhere. It's just called Movies Anywhere. But what makes this special is this is a combination of studios that have agreed to allow their movies to be basically shown on multiple services. For example, I don't know about y'all. We all know that I'm like the Blu-ray loving guy who loves the digital downloads. And a lot of times when you buy like a Warner Brothers movie, let's say like, I'm sorry, I have to admit, I did buy Suicide Squad. I really should not have said that. I shouldn't have told you that. Well, a better one. How about this? Wonder Woman. I bought Wonder Woman. So
okay, that's good.
That's better. That's I got my street cred back, right? So you have a digital download code and you redeem it, but it only allows you to watch it, like let's say in the Vudu app or the WB app, and it does not let you watch it in iTunes, which is kind of annoying because most of my stuff is in iTunes. So what happened is these 5 movie studios we have, let me see here, Disney, Pixar, Marvel Studios, that's kind of under one in Lucasfilms, Disney Studios, 20th Century Fox Film, Universal Pictures, and Warner Brothers all agreed that wherever, as long as you redeem or buy these movies on a digital service, you'll be able to see it anywhere, everywhere. So what does that mean? If you have a Vudu with like maybe 8 or 10 movies that aren't on your iTunes, you sign up for Movies Anywhere, you link your different accounts, and all of those movies end up migrating onto this Movies Anywhere app. But even better, because they all talk to each other, I don't even have to use the Movies Anywhere app. It's just a service you sign up for and link your accounts. I can just jump right into iTunes or into my Apple TV or my phone or my tablet, and all the movies from all those services now show up in one place. Like, boom! It's awesome. Like, honestly, this is what we have been wanting for a long time. I know some of you don't really care about digital downloads, but if you're someone who's on the go, you want it all in one place. The 2 studios, major studios that are not a part of this right now are Paramount Pictures and Lionsgate. So
get on board. Paramount Pictures and Lionsgate.
They're going to get on board. Also, if you have purchased movies from a game console, meaning if you've purchased them from Microsoft Store or from the PlayStation Store, those movies are not compatible where it crosses over with the service yet. They're looking to get new partners. But this is, to me, this is a big deal. And then, Beach, to your point, you get 5 free movies when you sign up 2 of the services. It is iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Vudu. I'm pretty sure almost everyone has 2 of those 4 that they can sign up
for sure. I had a little trouble signing up to iTunes. It like kept giving me an error, but eventually it worked. But this is killer because the Amazon video app doesn't have Chromecast ability, right? So like most of the movies that I own are on Amazon. So now that I ported them over to the Movies Anywhere, now it has Chromecast. So that's going to be like my go-to. Like if I want to find any of my movies, that's going to be my go-to. Just Chromecast it to the television real quick. That is a big deal right there for me.
It's a huge deal. This is not just an Apple thing. It works on iOS. It works on Android. It works on Apple TV, Roku, Kindle Fire, Amazon Fire TV, and Chromecast. So and again, you can use the Movies Anywhere app. If you like Vudu, you can use Vudu. If you like the Watch TV or iTunes ecosystem, you can use that. It's really cool. And so the other thing that I want to bring up is the 5 movies that are a part of this.
They're good movies.
They're good movies, except for one, and I'm gonna let you. I want to know which one. I want to know which one you think is the best. Okay, so here's the thing: if you first sign up with one account on the Movies Anywhere service, meaning if it's an iTunes, Vudu, Google Play, or Amazon, you will get Ice Age and Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters, for free. If you add an additional account, whether it's an iTunes, Vudu, Google, or Amazon, you'll get 3 more movies: the Lego Movie, Jason Bourne, and Big Hero 6. All right, so I want to know from you, Beach, which you think is the worst of those 5 movies?
Definitely Jason. I've never seen a Jason Bourne movie. I don't even care to see it. So that's
God,
the worst for me.
No. Okay, the worst and this is just because the movie is not that great. It's the Ghostbusters remake.
Yeah, it's good. I watched it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't that bad for me, but yeah, I mean, for me, it's Jason Bourne. I don't care.
You don't like Bourne?
I've never seen one. I don't even know whether or not if I like it or not.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, you haven't seen like Bourne Identity, Bourne anything?
No, I just Matt Damon beating people up. I can't like wrap my head around it.
Okay. It's because you've seen movies that no. All I'm saying right now, when you and your wifey have time, you got to watch. This is the latest Bourne movie, which I actually haven't seen.
Oh, yeah,
I've seen the Bournes, the horrible ones. This one is pretty. I'm just saying, you got to see this. See the very. I would say I
might give the first one a shot because that's the one that kind of set everything in motion, right? And it's like the most popular one, I feel. So I might try it.
People in the Paris go like, "The Beach is wrong." To each their own. There is no wrong. I just wanted to know what he thought.
Yeah,
I just want to know if he thought.
Well, I have it now. I have it now for free, man. Stoked.
Yeah. So anyways, check it out, guys and gals, Movies Anywhere. It is Apple related, but this is something that's going to help everyone out. We just wanted to make sure you guys knew about it. And it's really the hottest story coming out this week. And again, like I can get all my movies directly in my iTunes. I couldn't do that before. I had to jump around different apps. It was so annoying. So
what's stopping all these movie studios from just like streaming their newly released movies in the near future? You know what I'm saying? Like, movie comes out, it's a big blockbuster. Maybe a week later, it goes for sale or for rent on this app. Like, that's totally possible, you know?
It is possible, Beach, and I think it would be awesome if they did that. But what the movie industry has done is they've created these different optimal windows of when you can get access to these movies at different times, right? So first window of access is going to the movie theaters, right?
Yeah.
Then the next access is typically like pay-per-view services, right? Or now these days it's like digital downloads, iTunes and whatnot. There's that window, but they're going to wait to give you, like, if you're talking about are you saying like free streaming on Netflix?
No. I'm just saying like this app can easily become like a place where they're going to release like new big feature films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be great.
It's like they're just giving us a taste right now. Like, get into it, live in this world for a little bit, and then boom, new Star Wars movie available on, what is it called? Movies Anywhere or something. You know? I just, you know.
Yeah.
See it happening in the future.
Our boy Manafro, or Manavrow, Shamel just said, too bad it doesn't work. Shamar, Shamel. I call him the same thing. It's like, you have 3 names to me, bro. He just said, like, too bad it doesn't work for TV shows. It does not work for TV shows. I think the hard part about all these things is to make these things work. Studios and content creators and production companies have to be on board to basically, they all have to get a slice of the pie in order for this to work. So it's very difficult to get this negotiated. But this is now, looks like this is going to be the service that everyone goes to when you have so much support like this. Really cool. So anyways, check it out. Movies Anywhere. It's totally free to do. We hope you enjoy it. I mean, I think it's killer. And I'm going to move on to the next story before people say, is this the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy or this Movies Anywhere Crunchy?
All right, move on.
We get that crap all the time. Let's jump into some iPhone stuff. It's such a juicy, tantalizing headline, but it didn't even faze me. But yeah, people are talking about it. LG, according to reports, this is a story from The Investor. LG is teaming up with Apple for an LG display for a foldable iPhone.
Hello.
Foldable iPhone. That's a clickbait title right there. I didn't even choose to use it on the latest Apple Byte episode because honestly, this story came out after I made the show. But
Too clickbaity.
It's nice and clickbaity. So here's the story. Apple has reportedly started working on a foldable iPhone with LG Display and not Samsung Display, who is at the moment their sole supplier for the iPhone 10. And part of it is they believe it might be possibly the concerns over tech leaks to its arch rival, Samsung Electronics. We obviously know there's a lot of buzz around that true depth camera in the iPhone 10, and we'll talk about that a little later. But what is happening, according to this story, LG Display has created a task force to develop a foldable OLED screen for the new iPhone model with obviously parts from LG Innotek, its sister firm that helps to produce these displays. The other kind of interesting, there's a couple interesting bullet points that come out of here. The report says this foldable panel production could start as soon as 2020. So this is not for a phone that's coming out in a year or maybe even 2 years. It's really going to be a phone that's probably in 3 years. We already know Samsung has been looking into foldable displays tech for a while. We've seen this at CES in demos, I think as far back as 2015. So this is like not anything really new, but it's, like I said, it's fun and it will be an option down the road. I like the idea of a foldable phone down the road. I don't really care about it right now, though. Do you?
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, you know, we have these big phones in our pockets and sometimes they get uncomfortable and they get kind of weird. So if we can like fold them, get them out of the way, make them smaller, I don't know, that might be cool. There's that video from I think it was LG, right? Of the girl who puts it on her wrist. Should I play that real quick? Because
people can't really see it though. People can't really see it though.
Yeah, but even the audio is good though. Just the way she talks, you know.
Okay, if you want to play it, I will let you play it.
It's real fast. Okay, watch this, guys.
Thank you for letting me use your new technology. As you can tell, I am wearing a super cute dress today, but it doesn't have any pockets. So where am I supposed to put my phone? I can just wear it.
Yeah!
All right.
See?
All right.
Great.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. I hope people are still listening after that display of amazingness. So this actual foldable OLED phone could start in 2020. We know that Samsung basically has a near monopoly in mobile OLED screens. Apple's been trying to strengthen its relationship with others, potentially develop their own. But what LG has said is that right now, it started its first OLED production plant for phones. They've called it the E5 plant. But the first batch production for LG OLED displays will start sometime as early as 2019. So they're still, sorry about this. They're starting production right now, but in 2019 is when a new plant named E6 for LG will also help to beef up their OLED production. So Samsung, without a doubt, is the sole supplier. I think we talked about in a previous show, Samsung doesn't care because they're making like twice as much money off of iPhone sales, right? Remember?
They get like they get $100 for every iPhone or something.
$110 or so for every iPhone sold.
Wow, that's money. Money in the bank.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had a nickname for Apple, like it was abbreviated as LO, like loving opponent or something that.
Yeah, that's right.
Something like so weird. Anyways, that is the rumor story of Apple teaming up with LG for a foldable phone. If you want to talk about iPhone 10 supplies, because we know that everyone is kind of wondering what is going to happen with that, a new estimate, according to Jeff Poo, an analyst with Taipei-based Yuanta Investment Consulting, has cut his forecast for the number of iPhone devices that will be produced this year down from 40 million units to 36 million units, according to the report. See, first of all, it was like estimated at 50, then it dropped to 45, then it's 40, now it's 36. And that's going to make it a whole lot harder. I know I keep on saying this. You guys are going to know what it feels like to miss out on Jordans or a classic SNES. You're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. Right? You got mad about it, didn't you?
I went to Best Buy at like 6 in the morning with a foldable chair and like snacks. and I did not get an SES.
Wait.
This is the first
you
one.
Said snacks. I like how you
the first one, the NES.
I like how you said snacks.
I took snacks. I had like a banana and grapes and like some food. I thought I was going to be in line for a while.
Oh, man. So here's part of the report. Again, we've heard about it taking time to build this true depth sensor. Multiple reports have claimed it's taken more time to assemble the system's aspects. One of them is called codename the Romeo Module, and the other one is codenamed the Juliet Module. So the Romeo Module is that dot projector that shines on your face and creates more than like 30,000 visible dots, where the Juliet Module includes the infrared camera that analyzes the pattern as it's projected on your face, as well as seen infrared to build that kind of depth of your face. Together, they are what powers this true depth sensor. A lot of technology in there, and that's what's making it difficult. Like the production to get this final piece with those combined and those other elements is what's delaying this. And, there was another report, I didn't include it, but just a side note of like Ming-Chi Kuo was talking about, the depth sensor Android manufacturers are trying to, they are now saying, forget this whole under the fingerprint screen, touch ID type fingerprint recognition. They're all looking into face ID type setups, 3D maps, 3D sensors. And he said that the requests for them on the Android side are now threefold. So clearly this is not an easy thing to produce, and it's going to take time for them to perfect it and make it easy to do, but it's going to affect all of us who want to get the 10.
Oh yeah. That's what the guy called us asking this question. He's the first guy that I heard actually say 10, iPhone 10.
Without saying X.
Right? Yeah. It was the first time I heard that.
Well, we did have a caller that we wanted to address. He asked, we didn't throw in the show because we're going to pretty much, like you said, answer it here. He was asking if it's deliberate, like is Apple creating a fake shortage? Yeah. But to me, the answer is absolutely no. Apple wants to build as many of these units as possible now. They don't want people to wait. They want to get them in their hands, because also sometimes people that are like debating what phone to get, if one's not readily available, they're going to end up going to somewhere else. Totally. Now, some people will hold out, but his other question was like, when will it most likely be available to like the general consumer to just walk into a store? My hunch for this specific model, I'm going to put that at 9 months. I think it's going to take 9 months until you can just walk into a store casually and get an iPhone 10. I don't think it's going to be 6 months because, okay, fine. In between 6 and 9. Let's say in between 6 and 9.
That's crazy, because then the next iPhone will be out 3 months later after you got your iPhone 10.
That's a good point.
That's pretty insane.
They might even push it out longer for the next iPhone if it takes a lot longer for this one to be made, right? Much like, if there's not enough units out and people aren't satisfied and they're still making them, there's no reason for them to make an actual all new AirPods, because finally, let's see, it was September, October, November. Man, it's actually, I feel like it's been 7 or 8 months until they caught up with AirPods demand.
That's crazy.
Right? And now they're using this new wireless case down the road. So there's no reason for them to fast track it. Also, look, the iPhone 10, if you look at the hardware inside of it, it's a beast. So they could even bring new cool, what they really need to do in my mind, bring new cool software features a la Google, right? Bring some new software features that are really meaningful. And that could also prolong this kind of delay of the iPhone 10 if they want to stretch it out a little more. Because the power inside of it is insane.
Yeah.
They've benchmarked it. It's ridiculous. So, maybe we can see a little software love, like unlike iOS 11, son. Things driving me crazy. All right, let's keep on rolling through here. We want to talk about a quote that Tim Cook dropped that got a lot of press. He had an interview with The Independent, and it was really a wide-ranging interview that talked about a lot of augmented reality and their plans for the future. He was actually asked in the report specifically about taking advantage of augmented reality using smart glasses. So this is what Tim Cook said in response. Here is his quote. "Today, I can tell you the technology itself doesn't exist to do that in a quality way. The display technology required, as well as putting enough stuff around your face, there's huge challenges with that. The field of view, the quality of the display itself, it's not there yet." So this is what, right? You're like, So, see, this is the thing. This is the difference between Tim and Steve. Steve Jobs never even talked like this. He would even hint that they were testing aspects of the technology because they're working on it. Obviously, Apple's working on smart glasses. Tim Cook is basically killed any mystery by specifically saying, yeah, we've looked at it. The technology's not there. Like, they're actually working. Steve Jobs would have been, if someone said, are you guys working on smart glasses? He's like, I can't really say whether we are or not. Like, that's what he would do, right?
Yeah, totally.
Tim Cook, total boner killer. Like, total boner killer for smart glasses.
Someone has to piss him off, Someone has to, like, come out with something and, like, make him mad. He's to be like, okay, we're doing smart glasses.
But he was like this with the Apple Watch. He kind of basically said they were really working on an Apple Watch and want to get into health and fitness, like, way before the Apple Watch came out. I was like, dude, you don't have to do that. That's like, it's just kind of like, by the time we know everything about it, which we end up knowing everything about it, we're already like, yeah, we knew this like 6-7 months ago. You know what I mean?
Keep it a mystery.
Yeah, just keep it a mystery as long as you can. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, it's kind of fun to do that. Don't you think it's more fun to F with people instead of like, oh yeah, we're working on it, but we don't think it's there yet. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, because then everyone starts speculating, and then you get all these like articles of people speculating, and then everyone's guessing, and then it just becomes like this big noisy mess, So
yeah, so we know they've been working on prototypes. Other companies have been as well. So there you go with Tim Cook just really feeling like spilling unnecessary beans about the Apple potential smart glasses or the eyeglasses.
Let's hope they're not called eyeglasses, please.
Dude, no, they're going to be called Apple glasses.
Apple Glass, or something like that.
Apple Glass. Also, in relation to ARKit, we know Apple's really rolled this out and pushed it out. A report out from Sensor Tower that was detailed in TechCrunch talks about how in the ARKit space, there have been 3 million plus app downloads. Over half of those are games. So games account for over half of the 3 million ARKit app downloads that we've seen so far. They also make up 62% of the revenue. I don't think this is a surprise because we know that augmented reality really got its boost with Pokemon Go, right? That's how everyone like kind of wrapped their head around it.
Yeah.
I'm still all about the IKEA app. I think that app is dope, right?
The IKEA app is cool, man.
It's really fun, and I will use that when I become grown, and I have a house or something like that. when I have to grow up, right? That's basically it. But you have the top paid ARKit app right now is called, and this is the amazing one, Tap Measure. It is that kind of AR tape measure app that factors in distance and can basically give you a real-time measurement of walls and spaces. It's pretty awesome. Awesome. But there's a lot of games. I'm going to try this game called The Machines. It seems to be the #1 grossing game and the second top paid app. So I'm going to try that.
Where is that game? Let me see if I can find that.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying it out loud.
You just said it. Okay.
Yeah. If you scroll down on that article, there's a list that says top ARKit only apps worldwide.
Here it is. Okay. Gotcha. AR Dragon we got for free. Okay. Zombie
Gunship Revenant. That's a way too long name.
That's a weird name. Yeah.
That's horrible. Whoa, AR Sports Basketball?
That might be cool. IKEA Place. That's not a. Oh well. Okay. It's not. They're not looking at games really.
Dude, AR Sports Basketball is just gonna be like Paper Toss. Do you remember that game Paper Toss back in the day?
No.
Dude, it was like you were throwing a crumpled ball of paper into a trash can, and like there was like wind, like a fan blowing. You had to like change the ARK and all that crap. It was kind of fun. Honestly.
I do want to play Drive Ahead Mini Golf. I want to try that.
Heck yeah!
And
so
AR Runner?
It obviously is. It's luring us in. I don't know. I
guess you're just running through things.
You're all making up games right now, completely destroying like these millions of dollars of marketing that these companies spend. You're like, oh yeah, you just run through things. Yeah, okay, cool, whatever.
You go on a jog and you hold the phone in front of you while you're running, and you see stuff coming at you while you're running. That's fun.
All right, we're gonna keep it rolling with iPad Pro news. We talked about the True Depth sensor. Our friend Ming-Chi Kuo at KGI Securities has said and is reporting that it is most likely, he's actually saying it's going to, the 2018 iPad Pro models will come equipped with Apple's True Depth camera and support Face ID. He believes that Apple will add True Depth to the iPad Pro specifically, right? Their kind of high-end iOS tablet design, really their flagship tablet. But he wants that Apple is looking to do this to create a consistency between the iPhone 10 and the iPad Pro.
Nice.
Which my rebuttal is, where was that with 3D touch with the iPhone and the freaking iPads? Because it wasn't there.
I guess they're starting to figure that out. Maybe we should put it on all our devices when we release something new like this.
So like people get used to it and then just can't do without it, and it's consistent. That's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. Wonderful. So anyways, the report is that expect 2018 iPad Pro models to feature the true depth camera. We kind of jumped ahead and talked about how Apple's Face ID is turning Android makers away from this whole idea of the under display fingerprint recognition. I'll just kind of talk about a few other details that I didn't earlier. Again, this is Ming-Chi Kuo. He's kind of pontificating, I guess you could say. But according to his actual report, requests by Android smartphone vendors into 3D sensing technologies have at least tripled since Apple unveiled its true depth camera and Face ID technology. He also believes that in the next year that we'll see shipments of actual 3D sensor equipped Android devices, phones, tablets to exceed the whole under display fingerprint recognition by a factor of 2 or 3 more. This is interesting because, right, Samsung had trouble mastering the under the fingerprint display sensor. Apple had reportedly was working on it. There are actually now a couple conflicting reports that say Apple had actually moved past the fingerprint display sensor and just was like, we're going to do Face ID. It wasn't even necessarily part of the plan. I like the idea of it having both, quite honestly. But the report says that 2 reports say no, they were never even looking at it. It was Face ID all the way. Okay, we don't really know the true story because Apple's not going to tell us. But it's interesting because under the screen fingerprint recognition has been all the buzz for a long time. Qualcomm released a product that they said, I think sometime by mid-year of 2018 it'll be ready, that they could start shipping those to vendors. And we'll see which one wins out in the end. Will Apple end up incorporating both or just stick with Face ID? We know it's still going to be a tad bit slower, but I don't know. Which one do you prefer, Beach? Like if you had a choice.
Well, I haven't had to play with the Face ID a whole lot, but it really sounds like Touch ID, like fingerprint ID, is going to be a thing of the past, like before it was even really here. You know what I mean? Like, especially under the screen ID, it feels like it's not going to be around. So I prefer fingerprint just because that's what I'm used to. But yeah, when I get the Face ID, my mind could change. I don't know. So
I agree. I am there with you.
It is weird having a phone that recognizes you, like our phones are like little robots now, and now they know who I am and they're like know my face. So that is kind of creepy, I don't know. There's so many layers to it. It's hard to wrap my head around it right now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's like any tech. We'll just see how it all plays out. We're gonna jump and kind of try and hit these things fast. They might be a little boring to you guys and gals, but it's actually really important. There's a bunch of software updates that have been dropping. Some of them are betas. Some of them are actual software updates. Apple released iOS 11.0.3. Okay, this is like their
third update, right?
Dude, they're their third mini update for iOS 11, and they still haven't addressed the freaking battery issues yet. Anyways, iOS 11.0.3 is said to offer a fix where some iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Pluses had an audio and haptic feedback errors where it just didn't play a sound or give you haptic feedback with whether it's apps or notifications. Also, the other tweak was if you replaced your 6S screen with a non-genuine Apple part, basically if you went to the corner store and just like, yo, replace my screen for $30 instead of $100, there was an issue where it was unresponsive. I guess Apple has addressed that. So those are the only fixes in 11.0.3. Nothing about alignment issues or more crashing or battery issues. No. Just want to let you know. Okay.
The whole third-party screen thing, though, that's a pretty good for Apple to do that,
I agree. I totally agree. That, you know what? Beecham, you can give them a good Apple.
Good Apple. Thank you. I don't have a sound effect for that. So.
I know we need to get these in. We need it. We'll work on it. We'll work on
stuff. Yeah,
we'll work on it. All right. iOS 11.1. We saw the first beta be released, I think about a week ago. The second beta is now out. We kind of talked about it last week, but this brings emojis.
Oh.
I won't hold it longer.
Oh,
I won't hold it longer.
The new emojis, right?
New emojis. Things from like a wizard to like a mad emoji face with like cuss words over his mouth with like the and dollar exclamation mark. Like there's like a emoji face with like a shh, be quiet. There's like a Chinese takeout box. There's dim sum. There's like a mermaid fairy. There's all these crazy things.
I'm digging the mermaid. Digging the mermaid.
In iOS 11.1 beta 2, you have access to these. The trick is that other users will not be able to see this unless they have iOS 11.1 beta 2. So it's for your own basically viewing pleasure, and then for you to brag that you got them, to think that you're cool. But then when your friends don't have beta 2, it's really completely worthless. The other thing, though, that it brings back in the beta 2 for iOS 11.1 is the 3D Touch app switcher. That's where you press on 3D Touch on the edge of your screen, and then it reveals all your applications that are open, and you could swipe through them and close certain ones if you felt like it. That has now been brought back to iOS 11. After the keynote a little while ago, Craig Federighi said they removed it for a technical reason, and it would come back in a future iOS 11 update. At least in the beta 2, it is out right now. Apple has not said when iOS 11 will be made publicly available, like as the final version of iOS 11.1, but obviously it's coming pretty soon. But new emojis and the 3D Touch app switcher function will come, and we're also waiting for them to incorporate like the Apple pay-to-pay pyramid system in messages. So there's a lot of things that are going to be coming in iOS 11.1. We just have to wait for it.
Cool, man.
I think, but I know that you won't experience any of them, Beach, because you are not updating.
I'm still rocking 10.
Dude, stay with 10. I'm telling you, stay with 10. Dear God, please. All right, Watch OS 4.1 beta 2. This is another small tweak, but it added a couple really cool things. I'm not gonna lie, I love my Apple Watch LTE because it really does fit into that niche of my life where I go work out and I just bring my watch around. And I've gone out a couple times with just my watch, and it's, I don't know, it kind of feels nice. It's a little liberating, honestly. Keeps you away from looking at your phone all the time.
That's good.
So Watch OS 4.1 beta, it adds a couple things. One of them is that they added a new radio app, and before it was only streaming over Wi-Fi. This new radio app specific to the Apple Watch will now be able to stream over LTE. So again, taking advantage of the LTE feature. Not only can you listen to like Beats One Radio, ESPN Radio will be part of this radio app. So you can listen to ESPN Radio on the go, like through your watch. That's freaking awesome. The other aspect is there's now also a toggle for Wi-Fi. A lot of people that have the Apple Watch, like, why can't I turn off specifically Wi-Fi off or on specifically, or if an LTE user, if you want to force it to use the phone data signal and not deal with any of those issues, that is on there as well. And then it also tells you which Wi-Fi network your Apple Watch is connected to, so you kind of know. I think these are all really good things. I'm all about it.
I'm shocked that those things weren't there before. You couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I know I've never had an Apple Watch. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm like, what? You couldn't like figure out what Wi-Fi network you were on? And
bro, I'm trying to throw out a good Apple, man, and you're just poo-poo Apple on me, man. I'm trying to throw a good Apple out right now.
Well, good Apple for making those changes. It's about time.
You're all keeping it real with Beach. Keeping it real with Beach. All right, another cool thing, we talked about the watch, Apple Pay. I've used it a bunch. It's kind of nice to just like not have your wallet on you and just like, oh, whoop, okay. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Apple Pay's cardless withdrawal is now available at Wells Fargo ATMs. So there's right now, Wells Fargo has about 13,000 ATMs around the US. 5,000 of them have been updated to work with Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and Android Pay to withdraw cash if you need it. You don't need a wallet. You don't need a freaking card. You just need your phone or your Apple Watch or your Android Pay, Samsung Watch, all that stuff. That's all you need. It's really cool. So
that is cool.
5,000 ATMs right now. The remaining 8,000 they said will be, I think, flipped on by, I think they said 2019. So that's very cool. And then one other software thing, iTunes 12.6.3. If you have not heard of this and you're wondering what the heck is this, I'll tell you why this is important. When Apple updated to 12.7, a lot of you remembered it gave you a thing that said, "Oh, we're trying to streamline down to more media. You will no longer have access to the App Store. You have to do it through your phone, and you will no longer have access to ringtone management through the app." Well, there's a lot of businesses that were like, "Dude, we need to manually load our apps." So Apple secretly created, not secretly, but kind of undercover, released 12.6.3, which still keeps the App Store, which still keeps your ringtones. And in addition to that, it does not force you constantly to update to 12.7, which remove that. So
that's awesome.
Should have made a link so that you could show it on here, but I can tell you by memory, I created a link that we put in our video show. It's just tinyurl.com, iTunes 1263. If you type that in your
url.com, and what was it? /iTunes
1263. If you type that in, it'll take you directly to the support page from Apple that allows you to download iTunes 1263 and give you back this functionality.
Sweet.
Honestly, I think that's a sweet deal. Apple hasn't said how long they're going to support this, but it still supports iOS 11. It supports iPhone 10, iPhone 8, and 8 Plus. So it supports all the new tech that is coming. It supports current phones and new phones. There's links to download the new version or the undercover version of iTunes right there.
That's another good Apple. We're having a few good apples today. Thank you, Apple.
Well, thank you. You want me to give you a good apple for like our fans that listen?
Sure.
I shouldn't call you guys fans. You're just like all the same as us because you guys are part of the show. Why do I say that? That's horrible. Okay, in the video show, I did an NBA 2K18 giveaway. All right. I need to offer the same love on our podcast. So if you watch the show, I have 6 copies. Actually, they're on the table, but I'm not going to leave. I have 3 copies of the PS4 version and 3 copies of the Xbox One version. All you have to do is watch the weekly video show. And last week, we put something on top of a HomePod. You tell me what that is, watch the episode, and I'm just doing a random drawing, and you can win a copy of NBA 2K18 before the season starts.
Ooh.
Before the season starts.
That's big, man.
It's a $60 value. My friends at 2K Sports hella hooked us up. They always send me free games, but I'm that guy who already pre-orders the game, so I just give you the stuff, right? I'm not going to accept it. I love the game, so I'm going to buy it. I got to support it. I don't want to take free stuff from people that I actually support, you know? They like work so hard on that stuff.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, you guys can win. That's how I feel for you.
Cool.
Is that a good apple?
They just have to watch the Apple Byte or the Extra Crunchy show. The Apple Byte, right?
Apple Byte, yeah, the regular Apple Byte video show, and all the directions are there. But basically, I guess 2 episodes ago or 1 episode ago, we put something on a HomePod. If you tell me what that is, then I'll just randomly select the winners that get the right answer.
Nice. Good Apple.
I'm looking out. Thanks, man. All right, should we get phone calls?
Let's do phone calls. Thank you guys all for calling. We had a lot of great calls this week. Hang on, my computer just opened something I didn't want it to open. Okay, here we go. We have a question.
Naughty picture.
NSF Pictures. No, just kidding.
D-pick.
The first question was from a gentleman in New Zealand, and he has a question about music, Apple and music.
Hello, Stephen. Hello, Brian. I'm so sorry for leaving another message. I just realized how this works finally. So my name is Hone. I'm from New Zealand, and my question is around the importance or emphasis that Apple lays on music today. I mean, as you know, the platform basically grew out of music. I mean, not out of it, but, it was majorly music and how people consume music. And I just feel that somehow Apple is today neglecting that side. I, unfortunately, am still one of those oldies who uses CDs to import music onto his iTunes, and I have a huge problem with iTunes in the cloud. Sometimes it matches the songs and transfers or uploads songs to other iOS devices that aren't the same songs. And these issues have been discussed in Apple communities, and they've still not rectified it. So I'm just wondering, do you feel that Apple is slowly neglecting music or is going in the back foot with music? The store icon has changed from a music note to a star. So is that like a signifying thing? So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Cheers.
Great. I think there's a lot of aspects of that are really interesting, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's right. Absolutely. Like the iPod came out and that like changed music. iTunes came out that changed music. But then I think the iPhone came out and that changed everything. And then they're like, wait, we need to shift all our focus from iPods and music and iTunes to this iPhone thing that we just invented. You know what I mean? And then that kind of, everything else kind of took a back seat. That's my 2 cents. But what do you think, Brian?
Yeah, to say that they're neglecting music isn't necessarily true, because they're putting in a lot of effort behind their Apple Music subscription service. Sure, it's not nearly as popular as something like Spotify, but I think they finally hit somewhere around 30 million paid subscribers, where Spotify is at something like 60 million.
Oh, wow.
If I don't quote me on that, but I know they're about half as what Spotify has at the moment, roughly around there. Music is part of them, but there's so much more than a music company these days. I don't think they necessarily have to show love to music. I don't think they're ignoring it, but the market has changed where people are on multifunctional devices that are really more like mini computers, and kind of a single use, single feature type device like a music player. We've obviously seen how they killed the Nano and other older iPods themselves. There's just not really a market when every other device that we have plays music. So I don't think it's them losing anything like direction or DNA or not showing as much focus. It's just that so many other things. And again, we've complained about how Apple has their hands in so many things now. A lot of different things suffer because of that. That is the nature of just blowing up and becoming this big. Music has suffered a little from that, but I don't think they're ignoring it.
Yeah. And it's interesting when we saw the Google Pixel thing, like they had a big focus on music, like the always on Shazam and the being able to like find a picture of an artist and then find all their albums and all their social networks. Apple needs to do stuff like that. Like there's little things Apple can do to improve Apple Music. Like it's just even hard to find, you know what I mean? Like if you go into the music app and iTunes, it's just kind of like buried in a weird place. Everything looks the same. I don't know. There's little things that they could do to fix it,
I mean, if you even look at Apple Music right now, they're trying to make it more than a music place. They're trying to create shows and programming for you to go watch that are unrelated to music, but on Apple Music, right? So they're trying to, more than anything, they have now realized many years later that content is king. Netflix showed them that, and my voice just cracked. Netflix showed them that. Other services showed them that. They're trying to be that. The thing that stuck out with me, and I think I tweeted it recently, I finally took time, because I had time, to watch the Defiant Ones on HBO. Have you seen this series, Beach?
One of the best things I've seen in a long time.
Holy crap,
Jimmy Ivey needs to holler at us, because we can help him with this Apple Music thing.
So check this out. Like that should have been on Apple Music.
Yes.
Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, bought for $2 billion to be a part of Apple Music. That is the type of content you want to see to drive people there. And guess what? It wasn't there. Like when I was watching this, I'm like, holy crap, this is so amazing. And the first thing I said to myself is, why isn't this on Apple Music?
I was wondering the same thing. Did they go to HBO because there's swearing and possible like violence and stuff? Like, was Apple afraid of that? Like what?
Even at that?
Yeah. I mean, that was like the perfect show to be on Apple Music.
And here's what I think. I think that they know, because it's not in the place they want it to be. It's the whole chicken. What came first, chicken or egg? Apple Music isn't in the place where people weren't going to watch that on Apple Music, right? Like they know, like more people are going to watch this on HBO than Apple Music. But guess what? You need to have something like that to drive people to Apple Music. So it's very indicative of the fact that they didn't have the belief that something that amazing could drive people towards Apple Music. That is the type of stuff they need. Yeah. And maybe they learn from that. Maybe they'll profile other artists or producers in that way to tell their story in a raw nature, like that feels, very personal and unedited and as organic as possibly can, without feeling like, sugar-coated TV sterile. Like we don't want that, right? I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I haven't even gotten to the Source Awards.
Oh my God, that is the best one, dude.
That's the third one. I got to get to that one. I haven't even got to that one yet, and people are like, "Yo, just wait."
The Source Awards one is awesome, man. You're gonna love it, dude. But you know, like, there was some good news from Apple this week that we didn't really cover in the show, but they got Steven Spielberg to be a producer director for Apple for their Apple TV, some original programming. That's a big one. And then they also are rebooting Incredible, what is it called? Like Incredible Stories or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it's called, but when I heard that, I was like, that's a good move by Apple. Get Steven Spielberg in there to produce a show. Yeah. That's a big move, but don't put in Apple Music. You know what I'm saying?
That's why put it just on their Apple TV somewhere, right? Don't put this crap on Apple Music. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all, and it just confuses people. They're like, "What's Apple Music? Oh, there's TV shows? I don't get it."
Dude, bro, they're like what is it? Is it called? Is their app called Watch TV or Watch? I can't remember.
Yeah,
their Watch app. It is to watch.
I think it's for like my Apple Watch. I thought at first when I first saw it, I'm like, this is an Apple Watch app on my phone. Like I don't have an Apple Watch.
Well, you have a movies app, you have a TV shows app, and you have a watch app, and then you have Apple Music. What are you doing?
And then my Apple Music app has, Apple Music, and then just my regular music, that I own. That I think that should be separated too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Just if you really want to do this whole on-demand, like true unique content, Apple like make it its own thing. Don't slam it in Apple Music. It didn't work with carpool. Actually, carpool karaoke makes sense, but Planet of the Apps, that you're not going to drive people that way. That show, Defiant One, should have been on freaking Apple Music, man.
They dropped the ball big time on that, dude. Seriously. Yep. All right, we got a few more calls. Let's check them out.
It'll be an hour-plus podcast because we just talked about Defiant Ones for like 10 minutes.
It's so good.
Hey, how's it going? This is Cecil from Houston, Texas. I see that you are, talking about the fingerprint being brought back to the screen along with facial recognition. Why would Apple, put facial recognition on the 10, and then the next year bring back, the fingerprint? Why would Apple be backstepping like that? The future should hold something more than even facial recognition. So I just have a question. Why would Apple backpedal like that when they're trying to move forward to the future with facial recognition?
Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier too.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, and it just comes down to if they can speed up Face ID to make it nearly as quick or that we don't feel any delay, then, and that's really sounds like the direction they're going, then we won't see a fingerprint sensor under the glass. I think we're so used to the idea of a fingerprint sensor on the glass. It's a learned behavior. We saw that 3D touch was a behavior that because it wasn't consistent across all their products, not everyone uses it. A lot of people don't even know it's there, quite honestly. And so this is something you're going to be using daily. You're just going to have to get used to the idea of the whole Face ID. And I think if it becomes second nature and then people kind of forget that the Touch ID thing ever existed, that's the goal that they're trying to move towards. So I think you're absolutely right. Why would they move backwards? And some of those reports saying that Apple never planned to do an under the glass fingerprint sensor would reinforce that thinking. So
cool. And this is our favorite call this week. Here we go.
Hey, Beach and Tong, it's Mark from Portland. I'm so sorry to hear you're still having battery problems with iOS 11, but I wanted to suggest the Apple Smart Battery Case for standard 4.7-inch phones. I'm currently using it for my 6S. I've had it since March, and this case is really dope. It's the only case that uses iOS software so that it understands it's still running on battery power, so that makes it more battery efficient than other cases. It doesn't do things like back up in the background or do things that the phone would normally only do on power. And I'm still on 10.3.3, but I always end the day with at least 80% charge on my phone, usually 100%, unless I'm using Maps all day. Bye now.
Oh, we got another Maps users. we got another one represented for Maps. I will say people did tweet me and say, "Hey, yo, you got to check out Maps in iOS 11. It's pretty dope, man. Like, don't sleep on Maps anymore." I'm like, all right, I checked it out. I thought it was cool. It was nice. It's not like I still don't trust it like I trust Google Maps, but I thought it was nice. I will give it its credit. Okay.
Cool. So that was the wrong call. There's another call that's better.
I was like, what are you talking about? Wait, what was
he was talking about the Apple battery case, which you have been famously.
Okay, hold up. Look at that. Okay.
About.
I got okay, that is, let me just tell you right now, leave it on that picture right there. Yeah, put on the black one. Okay. Where have you seen that design somewhere else in a recent Apple product? When you look at that Apple smart battery case sideways, what does that look like?
Wait, is there a sideways shot? There is, yeah. I don't know,
you know
man.
What? It's like the freaking notch on the iPhone 10.
It does.
Designed both by Johnny Ive. Some of you are like, what is Tong talking about right now? Go look it up. iPhone smart battery case. Turn that son bitch sideways, as The Rock would say. It is the notch on the iPhone 10. Oh my god. Can't believe that.
That's funny.
All right, let's get the next
No,
one.
it is. It totally is. That's funny.
Dude, it totally is. I'm like, my voice is like getting all crazy.
Okay. We got an Apple Watch question here.
Hey guys, this is Sonny from Louisiana. I was watching the show and I noticed Beach made the comment about not wanting to update his plan for the Watch Series 3. And my question actually has to do with the original watch. I updated to WatchOS 4, and I noticed that it got a little glitchy, especially when it came to bringing up notifications for like Twitter and Snapchat. It wouldn't bring up the logos. Have y'all noticed that? And is 4.1 fixing that issue on the original watch? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Guy's got a great voice.
So I have a response where I think might be the issue. For example, some apps have changed how they work with the Apple Watch and the iPhone, and Twitter has basically completely removed their app. No longer really talks to the Apple Watch anymore. So that might be the issue that you're experiencing. Twitter used to, like, you'll get notifications from your phone to your watch, but oh shoot, sorry, I pulled my headphones. But the actual Twitter to Apple Watch app that is dependent on a connection between the phone and the watch no longer functions. So I'm wondering if that's what you're dealing with. If not, then I really don't know why it's doing that, but that might be part of it.
Yeah. Okay, we got another. This is my favorite call, actually. I was mistaken before, but this is the one right here.
Hey, Beach and Tong, this is Chris from California. I just want to know if there are any cases for the new iPhones that possibly wirelessly charge the phone and can also themselves be wirelessly charged or hook into the lightning port, to charge as a battery pack, but can actually be charged wirelessly themselves. Thanks. Love the show, guys. Bye.
I love that.
When we first started that call, we were like, wait, this homeboy wants the future. He wants like the wireless charging case to the wireless charging phone. Like he's wireless charging.
When I first heard that, I was like, wait, like the phone is kind of the wireless charging case for the battery itself. So I don't know. It just sounded funny to me.
He just wants more wireless charging, man. But at the moment, we have not seen any products that wirelessly charge the wirelessly charging iPhone. Not yet. I could be wrong, but at the moment we haven't seen any.
That would be kind of cool, though. You have a case that wirelessly charges your phone, but then you just wirelessly charge the case. It just all sounds so silly to me. Okay, next question. We got one more. We got two more calls, real quick ones.
Hi, this is Patrice calling from Los Angeles. I was just wondering, do you think that Apple is actually going to make the AirPods useful, because the earbuds that Google is coming out with are ridiculous in a good way, and those are ones that I would actually spend $150 on. Right now, it's just the Apple ones just really look like the brush heads for my sonic hairbrush. That's all I want to know.
We agree with that assertion. We have always agreed with that assertion here at the Apple Byte. Someone's asking if we're taking questions on Twitter. Yeah, send me a question, and hopefully I can see it before the show ends. Just do it at Brian Tong. We got to show love to the ladies that ask us questions because we like to represent like the audience here. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so the AirPods, look, I think they're still very good because of their convenience. They just need to add more functionality. It doesn't look like we'll see anything like that anytime soon. They're going to release a new wireless battery case version. I think that's going to then push out any new major changes in the AirPods, unless it's done through software, another 6 to 9 more months before we see another one. So I do think the Google headphones, the Google I forgot what they call them. Did they just call it the Pixel earbuds? That's what they call them. Yeah. I think they look more normal. They don't look as awkward, and the translation feature on them is ridiculous. So from a standpoint of travel or business, and it's only going to get better. Remember, this is the first generation we've seen anything like this to use your phone. Soon it's going to be built in directly into the headphones, which is kind of crazy to me when you think about that down the road. Like, you won't even need a phone to drive this stuff. It'll all be on a little chip that's in some earbuds. That's way down the road. But yeah, I think if you want more functionality, I think also the two other things that are important, see how they feel in your ears and see if you like the sound quality. Because you probably won't be using the translation all the time, but if that's your priority, then get the Pixel earbuds. But I do think the Apple AirPods are good. They're just not great.
Yes,
they're really, really, really good. I've said this over and over and over. They're just not great.
The Air, like the regular Apple earbuds, they feel great in your ear. For me, that's my opinion. But like, I have some other wireless headphones that feel terrible in my ears. They're so uncomfortable. So that is very important to make sure that they are comfortable before you buy them, because you don't want to like have sore ears. That sucks.
That is awesome.
All right, that's it. Oh, we have one more call. Do you want to hear the last one? The dude that said it's kind of like just a nice email.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, this is Trevor from Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. Just want to say I love the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy with Beach and Tong. You guys give me a lot of information about MacBook High Sierra and also iOS 11, and thank you for keeping me updated. Have a good day, and today's my birthday. Peace.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. In fact, if you call us and say it's your birthday, we will say happy birthday to you.
Yes.
And this could get out of control. And it better be your damn birthday. It better be your damn birthday if you call. Don't do that fake stuff. I don't like that fake stuff.
Please.
That's
it, man. That's the show.
All right, dude. We crushed it. We went over an hour, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Are we allowed to do that?
I think we might have broken the internet.
Do people want us to do that? I think that's a more important question. Yeah, I think that's more important. All right, I did, unfortunately, let me see here real quick. I told the young lady who said I could ask a question over
Twitter
if we could answer it, and I did not get that question in time. I'm so sorry, but hey, there you go. One last quick thing. Sorry, Beach, quick bullet point that someone has confirmed, at least according to Ragsy 1083, is that movies from the Movie Anywhere service that show up in your iTunes library will upconvert to 4K if there's a 4K option. If that is true, that's freaking badass.
That is awesome. Wow.
So like, that's what I wanted to test. Wonder Woman, does it give me the 4K option? Because I don't have a 4K TV and I don't have an Apple 4K yet, because I don't know Apple TV 4K, because I don't have a 4K TV yet. But when I get there, which I'm hoping to by the end of the year, but someone like that, let us know that. That's pretty dope, man. If that's true, I'm gonna Ragsy 1083. We got you. Thanks, bro. Thanks for looking out.
We're going to have to throw out another good Apple for that one.
Rebecca Ronita is saying, hey, AR and VR. Yeah, throw a good Apple. Rebecca, you're supposed to tweet me with the question. We're going to wrap up the show. We've been going too long. We'll see you guys next week. Oh, you know what? One more thing, Beach.
Yeah, go for it.
You're all, dude, I don't have any more song left to go. To call us, 1-800.
Oh, yes.
616 2638. That's how you do it. That's how you're part of the show. Nothing but love for you. Take care. Be safe. Peace.
All right.